Namaste, angels. It's going to be a reading from the perspective of the divine masculine. A couple of hours ago, I recorded the moon reading, the new moon in Capricorn, and at the start of doing that, I shuffled a bunch of decks of cards. These are the ones that are left, so I may use them all for the masculine perspective. We'll see. I don't want to drag it out, but we may. I don't know why I was guided to pull all those out, so we may look further into that, or at least even use them for clarification, maybe. So we're beginning with the Princess of Coins, the Page of Pentacles, basically. Behind her is balance or temperance, which is going to be very important right now during this period of the moon. Oh yeah, so the reason I'm doing this, like I said, I just did the moon reading, and I was guided to do this part separately. And I think in consideration of all the transits that are going on right now. Why am I shuffling these? I said I'd already shuffled them. I guess we were meant to see the Three of Cups. Maybe that's it. So the card representing the divine feminine is the Page of Swords. The masculine as it relates to the feminine. The Magician. Could be tied to Mercury or Gemini energy. As you may know, as a matter of fact, it's opposite Sagittarius, which the card Temperance or Balance represents, is the Gemini in the True North Node. So that can be what this is about. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius energy. The Magician is also representative of the energy of Gemini. So the masculine as it relates to the feminine, maybe manifesting the type of relationship, dynamic, or a particular person even that in which she's interested, the connection. Just want to make sure everything's right. Okay. The masculine as it relates to himself, we have the Queen of Pentacles, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, where that moon is, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. Generous, trying to set up an environment around the home or desiring to make some sort of environment feel homely and appropriate, made for them. This could be the masculine readying himself or in his surroundings for a relationship, potentially. The masculine on the union or connection as a whole. Five of Cups. So there was some disappointment, or there's doubt, pessimism, maybe that he can make it happen, which is sort of counterproductive to the Magician and manifestation, although the Magician rather, is far stronger than the Five of Cups, of course. Overall, the Five of Wands, which showed up in the recent past position in the moon reading. So the Five of Wands has a few meanings for me. It can be about close friends and or family, conflict with them. And that would include for me exes, like the other parent of your child, so the father or the mother of your child. Even in the case of divorce, I still consider that like close friends and family. It can be extended to other people, like I said, that you're tight with, like your closest one-on-one relationships. But on a more positive note, it's also connected to like a Mars or Martian energy for me of, like hot pursuit and sort of aggression in going after what it is we want, which it could definitely be here, in terms of manifestation. It's also, of course, Mars is also, of course, the masculine planet of love. What energy the masculine would have the feminine give toward the union or connection if it were up to him? The Four of Wands. So it is something about like trying to set up an environment, a home, maybe a commitment, a bond. What energy he himself is willing to give to the union or connection right now, and it is the Queen of Cups, which is one of the most loving cards that in the deck. It's also about, really paying attention to one's intuition. It's another card that showed up in the moon reading. Following one's instincts. It's about being open to sharing emotion, could be representative of a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. Maybe most specifically or directly a Scorpio, in terms of the traditional tarot, the meanings in the traditional tarot, with Scorpio being the fixed sign. What energy the universe would have each or both archetypes give to the connection this week or this period. And it is the Six of Coins. And by this period, the period is, I guess, around the 12th when the moon first goes into Capricorn. Although the new moon doesn't actually occur until the 13th through the 27th, I believe it is. Should be the day before the Leo full moon. I'm actually going to go over that quickly, the planetary calendar, after I do the cards, so we can double check. But the period should be around 2 weeks. And this reading or this spread is tied to like the transits, all the transits that we're experiencing, and the masculine's perspective and what he's dealing based on those things. The Six of Coins is an awesome card too, for love and relationship, because it's about, equity and equality and reciprocity, like an even exchange. It's about unconditional love for me. It's another card of generosity, timely assistance from the universe, like that thing you're needing, especially if you are trying to manifest something. Something comes right on time to facilitate you, gaining whatever it is you do need or want in any given situation. It can be tied to money, sometimes, or a credit or a loan, or some sort of help, really great advice that comes free, that, has value, something that has value that you're receiving just like out of, the goodness of the universe or another person's heart. And the outcome. Major Arcana card 10. It's called Fortune in this deck. This is the Wheel of Fortune. And specific to love and relationship, it can be about needing or wanting a break, whether that's together or from each other or separately, because like one person needs to get themselves together. Which, if anybody had to do that, I'd say it might be the masculine, since he's the one feeling sad and disappointment and pessimistic here. But in terms of the general meaning of the Wheel of Fortune, it's about like a reversal of fortune. So things suddenly improving in a situation, like unexpected or suddenly changing in a situation, usually for the better. Usually they're going from just like an okay situation, or maybe even a crappy situation, to a good one, a better one, and very rarely the other direction, although that can happen too. So that's a reversal of fortune. Represents the planet Jupiter and the sign of Sagittarius, which I mentioned a moment ago. As well as the fixed signs. It's also tied to the energy of the fixed signs: Aquarius, Leo, Scorpio, and Taurus. I should move them up just a little bit before adding anything else. Yes. All right. So yeah, let's go around again with these. So like I said, some of you may have seen, if you watched the moon reading, you saw me shuffle these already. They remain unchanged. Okay. Divine Feminine. Knighthood, which I mentioned in the other reading, because this card came up there too, is primarily for me representative of air energies, like the Knight of Swords, specifically. So now we have like the Knight of Swords, like clarifying the Page of Swords for the feminine. So the Knight of Swords is about like a need to make a decision, or awaiting information, maybe, or somebody else to make a decision, maybe both. Like once you hear from someone or some other entity, then you can make your decision. It's also about if you're awaiting something, some sort of news, or you have some sort of news or something coming to you, which the Page of Swords can be an indication that you do, it will be news that you're like happy to hear, glad to hear, you find helpful. It's, not negative news. So that's for the feminine. And I'll see if I get anything else from the night. I'm not at the moment, but if I do, I will talk about that too in a second. The masculine as it relates to the feminine in terms of here maybe joining the magician, we have medicine man or woman. So this is spiritual. This is maybe something, and it's like a conjurer, right? A medicine man or woman is often, conceived to be some sort of like a magician, a magic person. So this is probably too about manifestation and also, potentially connected to the spirituality aspect of that and of, whatever the connection is here. The masculine as it relates to himself, joining the Queen of Coins, we have phobias. So there could be a concern about not having enough money, especially with communal living being the overall energy. Communal living, it talks about having had a past life in a space where you had to share everything, maybe like the Six of Coins, and that can sometimes lead to phobias in this life where you're afraid of like going without, of not having enough money, not having enough food, not having enough something. And sometimes that can cause us to overdo. So I would also guide the masculine if you are like working on your home or trying to change your environment, fix things up, make yourself feel more at home in some sort of space or situation, to not necessarily spend a bunch of money doing that. There's ways to go about doing those things and make ourselves feel comfortable without breaking the bank, as they say. Definitely shouldn't go into debt over it, but you should know that everything's going to be okay, especially with the energy of the magician showing up also in your regard and tied to your connection to the feminine, because the same way you manifest the connection coming together and maybe you guys being on the same wavelength and coming to physically connect or meet or something, is the same way that you would manifest anything else you needed, like to pay your bills or put food on the table. And in connection to the union, or in relation to the union or connection as a whole, unrequited love. This can also be one of his phobias, but for some, I would imagine this is a real situation. There's been some sort of disappointment. Either he has previously turned away from the feminine and made her feel unloved, or she's done that to him, or maybe they've done that to each other, and so that's why he doesn't necessarily see a way out. That may have been what caused a break or break up before, and that may be exactly why the universe wants to help us with, coming together in a way that is reciprocal, like mutual adoration and love and respect. What energy the masculine would have the feminine, because we see he already wants her to give energy of commitment and home and family and happiness and joy. So it's not to be looked at negatively, even though it's there quite a love, and with a cup like the Five of Cups, which is like womp womp, there's still positivity here because of this. So what energy the masculine would have the feminine give to the union or connection, if it were up to him, and it is authority figures. I think for some this has to do with absolute legality. And it's not going to be for everybody, but for some this can be tied to like a party of three, maybe a need for divorce or some sort of family court situation. To the more positive, it could be like a justice of the peace. The Four of Wands can be about marriage and weddings. It can be something positive to that. It sits here underneath the need for the feminine's energy and the need to make a decision. So that could be what this is about. Like I need a decision. Like a judge makes a decision, an order. Joining the Queen of Cups for the masculine's energy. What energy. He is willing to, and it's transportation. So like one of movement. Could be literal, could be metaphorical. Again, this could be about needing a break, a vacation, wanting to get away. What energy the universe would have each or both give to the union connection, and even wants to help us with trust and faith. How perfect is that for that placement? Overall, the arts. I think it's like the art of, you ever heard like the art of pursuit? The art of, the deal. Communication would be included in the arts in terms of liberal arts. This is, I think, tied of ways of expressing yourself, again, expressing your passions. Even if it is a debate or something that has an argument that has to come up, it's like coming up with an artful way or creative way to express yourself in an effective manner, maybe as opposed to this. And outcome, joining the Wheel of Fortune. Atlantis. Two dolphins together. Atlantis. Of course, the card Atlantis in this deck is about having a connection to Atlantis in the past life, and how that can lead to different phobias on this plane, like fears of water and things like that. But in terms of love and relationship and the need for a break, maybe, perhaps traveling somewhere, warm climate, or movement, maybe travel by, like over water. And then in the general sense, with this being about improvement, something getting better, I think this can be tied to the waters of emotion in the relationship, and those getting better, more positive, and because we did, again, come up with an artful way to work through a situation rather than going at each other in this kind of way. All right, let's check out the angel therapy cards, because they may have a more direct way for us to go about doing some of this stuff. Beginning with an overall energy of third eye chakra. It is safe for you to see the energy of love in all of its forms, such as angels, auras, and visions. So it's talking about it being okay, not only okay, but advisable for us to, pay attention to signs, synchronicities, awakening gifts, and to follow them, incorporate them into our decision making. Divine Feminine. Earth Angel, you're a light worker who has come to Earth to teach about love. So right out of the gate, we're starting out with like divine unions, twin flame connections when we're talking about angels. The masculine as it relates to the feminine. You are profoundly clairvoyant. So both cards already are about their gifts as individuals. And then we can look at it, how it can come together. And if you look, both cards have these angel wings on the side. And in both cards is also this orb that is sort of like a crystal ball. And if you look clearly, there are fish in them. Atlantis. We can figure this out together. If I come up with anything else during the reading, because sometimes I have to like actually put my mind to this stuff after I turn off the camera, because when I'm in the reading, I'm trying to, you know, keep time in mind too. If I come up with anything during, I will definitely say it, and if I come up with anything after, I'll note that too, like in the comments or something, or the description. And if you want to put something in the comments, feel free. But I don't think this is a coincidence. I don't believe in coincidences anyway. But we have 2 angel cards. It's not like all the cards look like this. They don't, right? 2 angel cards, angel wings around the perimeter, crystal ball showing up in the card, held by the person. This does look like a masculine archetype. This is a feminine archetype, so it's also falling into place that way, like the masculine and feminine. And then there's like mermaids in here too, in this orb with the fish. There's definitely something to that. I mean, more so than just, like I said, the connection of 2 spiritual beings, but that's a lot too, you know. That's a very unique connection that, you know, not everybody has, especially again when you're getting into specifics of like earth angels. The masculine on his own, like, you know, himself as he relates to himself right now. Cut your cords. Ask Archangel Michael to clear any old attachments to fear. Look, it's landing here on top of phobias that stem from past relationships, maybe these disappointments, freeing you from destructive patterns so you don't repeat them and hurt each other again, or hurt another person, or get hurt yourself in the future. Masculine on the connection or union as a whole. It's another angel with more water, although this one is illustrated a little differently. Heal away addictions. And it's falling here with the 5 of Cups and unrequited love. So it's like tied to something toxic. It's time to let go of behaviors. I'm going to say not only behaviors, but situations, relationships, circumstances too, that are blocking you from your heart's desire, which for somebody can be an existing marriage. There may be, like I said, or something, some sort of relationship or something that's blocking. Somebody could be in jail too. Time to let go of behaviors that are blocking you from your heart's desire. Ask Archangel Raphael to help you with this healing. Overall, Ascended Masters, powerful, loving, and wise spiritual teachers are watching over and guiding you. You may see a lot of the number 3 during this period, repeating 3s. That's a representation of the Ascended Masters. And 3 is also the number of creativity, as in the arts. The energy, the masculine would have the feminine give to the union or connection if it were up to him. Fairies. You have a strong bond with the fairies, and your life purpose involves helping Mother Nature. I think in this spread, that means him. Who's Mother Nature? The Queen of Pentacles. And that's the card that represents him here. This can also just be in terms of connecting with Earth and Mother Earth, and being outdoors, or where it's conducive for you to do so, or bringing outdoors into your house through plants and vegetables and fruit and stuff like that. I'm also going to point out here's another one of these cards with angel wings. Again, it's not the same way, but it sits here underneath the Earth Angel, and both of them have wings. There's angels in the picture. what energy the masculine himself is wanting to give or willing to give, and it's to work on healing. It falls right underneath the heal away addictions. Archangel Raphael, that's who he's supposed to talk to also, right? Ask Archangel Raphael to help you with this healing. Well, here he is. The healing angel is with you, supporting your healing work. So it could be the masculine is willing to connect with that energy, to work on that and work on himself over this period. What the universe would have each or both archetypes to give to the, what kind of energy to give to the connection, and even wants to help us with, is be willing to forgive. Ask the angels to clear your mind and body of past pain in exchange for peacefulness. I think this fell really perfectly into this placement as well. Both times I said that we were going to go and ask the divine for intervention. All three times, really. The Six of Pentacles, too, is like divine assistance, very timely assistance. We asked them for their contribution. Each time it was very much connected to the divine helping us with something. And the outcome. Singing and dancing. Express yourself and awaken your psychic senses through the magical power of music and movement. Now, how, if at all, is that tied to swimming or water? It's actually a story called The Dancing Water, the Singing Apple, and the Speaking Bird, about fairies and a king who has magical children covered in astronomical signs like stars and stuff. The Golden Twins. Look that up. I will as well read about it. The Dancing Water, the Singing Apple, and the Speaking Bird. And then there's also a John Denver song called Singing Skies and Dancing Water. And maybe that either of those or both of those is somehow tied into this. And since that's all I got, I will, from these same cards, close by pulling advice card for each archetype from the decks that I used. Oh, look at that. The next two cards in this deck, which I just saw accidentally, were Archangel Michael. You're working very closely with this powerful archangel who's protecting and guiding you through this situation. And manifestation power. Use your spiritual gifts and natural abilities to attract your desired outcome. So two more angels, and then with this air energy too, the swords, just like the page and knight here, and the need to cut cords. There's an angel here with a sword too. From the Lover's Path Tarot to the masculine, the Four of Arrows. So a need for, again, a break, perhaps, or there was a break and now we're ready to return. Or a decision that has to be made, and you can use some meditation or something to help you to get to the decision. This is interesting too because this is swords or arrows, and there's a bunch of water in this card as well. in addition to all the red, which is like the Gemini, Sagittarius. Of course, Sagittarius is represented by arrows, right? The archer. The archer, the architect. Yeah, but the Four of Swords is going to be about a need to like meditate and figure something out, make a decision, or the need for some actual rest. That actually came up in the moon reading as well. There was a card from the butterfly deck that just plainly said, get some rest. This can be about restoration or recovery of an individual or situation. It could be, literal recovery from having been ill or excessively tired or surgery. Or about planning a vacation or wanting to plan a vacation. Oh, it's the masculine card. What am I doing? And for the feminine, the King of Cups. Very nice. Now the Queen and the King are both in this reading. The King of Cups is super generous and romantic and balanced, which is going to be a very important energy with the Capricorn new moon, which is also Black Moon Lilith. He is loving. He might be who this water represents. It's like air and water. Or air, fire, and water. He is a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. His masculine and feminine energies are very, healthily and harmoniously balanced. He's not afraid to have emotion, but he's not OD'd. He's not like watering all over the place. It's very balanced and in check, so to speak. He's very giving, very generous, very charitable, like the Six of Pentacles too. So it may also be tied to that Six of Pentacles energy of some sort of divine assistance or help right on time could come through him. From the past life cards to the masculine lessons and blessings. And I've been talking a lot about this too, not necessarily saying it that way, but how one thing has to happen that's like the lesson for that maybe wasn't so great for the other thing to occur that, is the blessing, the positive. That came up in the general and the love reading, I believe, for this week. Feminine, our card is Mother. When you pull this card, the meaning from the deck, from the book, is about having had what was probably a positive relationship with your mother in a past life, and therefore, like, you guys agreeing to rejoin here somehow. You might not be mother and daughter again, or maybe you're the mother and she's the daughter this time. Doesn't have to be the same structure, but to rejoin life together because it was a good experience, a good relationship. But in this spread, it can have to do with the healing, whether it's healing a relationship with your mother or with your children. Like I said, something could be going on with family court here that the masculine wanted the feminine to get through. The reading a book, it could be like the children's book that I was just talking about. Healing a relationship, or it could be literal and about recovery. either yourself or, yeah, maybe like a mother or a mother figure. And I guess concern with that or worry with that is affecting the, your relationships and things. And look, the masculine got parents. So I guess the same goes for him right now. The divine truth is that your parents eternally love you to the best of their ability. The angels are helping you to heal, like I was just saying, any pain associated from your mother or father. And lastly, for the feminine, from that same deck, the angel therapy cards. Emotional sensitivity. Honor and respect your deep sensitivity, as it is a gift to us all. I hope you guys have enjoyed this extra reading. I don't even know what I'm going to call it yet, but it was initially set to be the love reading portion of the moon reading, and just as I got to it, I was just like, you know what, I feel guided to do this separate, and I stopped. I guess this is why. We're going to get all into it. Hope you enjoy. Please do like, share, subscribe, comment. I try to respond to all the comments, and when subscribing, I ask that you please hit the subscribe button and the bell button so that hopefully you'll actually receive notifications from me when I put up a new video. Namaste.